Alright, in this video I'm going to be disassembling and reassembling a Dyson Hot and Cold fan. First, what you're going to want to do is push down the tab on the bottom and rotate that counterclockwise to get the bottom piece off and just make your life a lot easier. Then you're going to unscrew these 4 screws. There's going to be 2 on the back side and 4 on the front side. They kind of hide the smaller ones down as you push the fan forward. It angles up. And then that allows you to take off that bit. Now there's not actually any axis down from there, so you're going to have to remove this nubby right there to reveal a screw that you can then unscrew. From there, all you have to do is turn the head and pop it off. Comes off pretty easy, and that gives you access to the fan's actual mechanism. Now, it's super hard to get out of there unless you loosen up some of the wiring on the actual circuit board. So you're gonna go over there. A lot of it's just done with screws, so if you just unscrew this top bit that hides what I'm thinking is the main board, it'll actually allow you to pry up some of the wiring without actually damaging any of the components in there. And there's one last screw hidden right in that block. I used tweezers to get it out, and then I used tweezers to, I was gonna try to unclip something, but it didn't look like a clip, so I just tried to pry up as much as I could. There were these rubber bits on there that actually were able to come out. At this point, I did try going into the bottom piece. There are a bunch of screws on the bottom that you can take out to actually take off the bottom plate. However, when I got to it, the screw was just one size bigger. I tried shoving some things in because it was the same screw bit, but it just didn't work, so we're not going to be going into there in this video. From there, there's a little notch the wires are shoved in. You can actually take it out of there, and there's a clip in there too. It's a little hard to show, but it's right down there, and you can just pull the wires right out of that. Loosening that up allows the actual motor to come out. And then if we just undo this gasket here, and then there's some wires that'll clip out on the side, 2 black and 1 white. Now there's a bunch of screws on the top. There's actually 4 on the top, which I had explained in a previous episode. There's also going to be 2 on the side that I don't show taking off. That's just because I had taken them off prior and trying to figure this out. But once you get those 4 screws unscrewed, there's a few tabs on the side that are a little bit pesky to get out. It takes a little bit of doing, but once you get it, it pops right out, nice and clean. And then you can actually take out the actual motor. Now here there's a piece of foam that you can also take out. My main purpose for this was cleaning it, so I didn't really delve much further into it than that. This black piece will snap back on, but the wire placement is critical here. So you actually have to have the wires pretty flat against that white support there. Again, it takes a little bit of doing, but eventually you can get that. And you want to try to keep the rubber piece on the side of the white support. Once you get it in there all flat and neat, then the top just pops right on. And then you just re-screw in all your screws. Put the gasket on. There's going to be some support notches in there for rubber feet to sit on. Those actually have to go right in there. Try to make sure you have the wires on the same side as they would come out of where the notch is. And make sure you pop in the black and white wires again on the side. Now we're going to screw the top back in on the board after shoving the plastic pieces back. Should screw in 6 screws altogether. Don't forget about that one screw that goes in the middle. Then you're going to pop the wires back into the tabs on the top so that you can twist the head back on. And then you shove the wires back into the little alcove in there and snap them back into that tab. I used my tiny screwdriver. And then after a minute of doing, you're gonna have to shove that back in. It takes a minute to get it in there, but once you do, it's just a matter of screwing the screws in again. Now I propped the fan up on some scissors I had lying around. That just helped it stand up a little bit better so I could get a better angle at the screws. Now remember, there's 4 screws on the front side. 2 are hidden a little bit further down, and then there's 2 screws on the back side. And then you have to tuck the wire in for the power cord if you happen to move that. And then I just replaced the bottom. Lots of screws here. And if you're freaking out because you noticed you had one more screw, just remember that there is a screw at the top. Try to make it one of the smaller ones. And then twist the bottom back on, and then it's all set.